Juna is an accomplished young woman who happens to have a significant visual impairment. She came to the United States from Albania when she was 4 years old. In high school, Juna attended the Boston Latin School, a prestigious, nationally recognized school that is part of the Boston public school system and is located in the heart of the city. She now attends Harvard University. Educators, families, and students all play a critical role in determining what supports and services, including accessible instructional materials and assistive technologies, might be needed for students who are blind or visually impaired to participate and achieve in the curriculum. There are many different types of eye conditions that may result in visual loss, and the functional impact of the disability is different in various educational and community settings. Each student's individual needs must be considered in determining what is appropriate in each context based on the task to be accomplished. The staff at Boston Latin worked as a team with her to provide the services and supports that Juna needed and to build her independence over time.
I became visually impaired because of Stevens-Johnson syndrome, which is basically an allergic reaction, usually to an antibiotic. So it kind of covers your whole body in like third-degree burns, but they're chemical burns, not like fire burns. So this damaged my corneas, which made my vision worse. And when I was younger, I wasn't legally blind, I was just visually impaired.
Juna's visual impairment makes it difficult or impossible for her to read standard print instructional materials. So she needs another way to access the information. This need can be addressed by providing the same content in specialized formats such as Braille, large print, audio, and digital text. Juna explains how she started reading and how her needs changed.
So when I first started out in school, I remember in like kindergarten and first grade, I would read things by holding them close up to my face. And especially like in little kids' books, the font is a lot bigger. It's all like 36 font, so I could see it all by holding it close to my face. My vision teacher at the time would always say that if my nose were any bigger, there's no way I'd be able to read it because it'd always get in the way when I'd hold like the page up to my face. And I'd always have to write things in 2020 pens, which are really dark, kind of marker-like pens. And like my nose would always be black because it'd always be touching the paper, so the ink would always be rubbing off. It was not an attractive situation. And then in second grade, my vision teacher was really pushing for me to learn Braille. So it was because of her and my mom really pushing for it. And they kind of talked about how if I did lose more vision, Braille would be a lot more safe and a lot more helpful to me. They were the reason I learned Braille, and after that, most of my reading was Braille-based, whether electronic or paper. And then just as far as math or physics goes, I usually use a magnifier just because it's a lot of diagrams and a lot less words. But with things that are like more writing-based and reading-based, like English, I use mostly Braille.
Just as it is important to teach learning to read with print or Braille,
so at a certain level, the wheels are turning at a certain rate.
it is also important to teach learning to listen.
It's really important to look at low vision students to support their learning of Braille from a very young age. It's important, or if you're not going to teach Braille, then how to use audio material, how to get information out of it, how to take 2-column notes while you're listening. They have to really be able to teach kids to use more than one media and not to forget Braille, even if they are a low vision student, because you never know what's going to happen in the future in terms of losing their vision. The most important thing is we want them to keep up with everybody else at the same speed, at the same place, in the same time frame. So giving them multiple tools and multiple ways to access instructional materials is really the key to doing that.